Good evening.
Myself, a lack of Mr. Pugh. He's not feeling on his best today. I hope you get better soon. And an absolute legend and superstar of the past from Birmingham City, Phil Summerill.
Good evening.
Well, Phil, welcome to the Tilton Talk Show. Your first time on, and it's an absolute pleasure and an honour to have you here. Anybody who's ever strapped a Birmingham shirt to the back, to me, boom, you're a ledge. You came to Blues mid-60s?
Yeah, 63. 15 when I left school.
15 when you left school. Who signed you?
Gil Merrick.
Gil Merrick. You know, the old stand's named after him now, and boom. You almost never played for Birmingham City, did you?
No, that's right. I should have signed for Wolves on the Sunday.
It's a bad word in this place.
And after travelling to Wolverhampton, I didn't want to.
Don't blame me.
So my dad phoned up Don Dorman, who was chief scout then, and I went down for a week and scored a few goals, and they signed me after that.
And the rest is history.
The
rest is history. You hold 2 records at St Andrews for one, the fastest goal scored.
Yeah, I believe it's 12 seconds.
12 seconds, and you score a goal. That is incredible. And for the fastest hat-trick from the first goal to the third goal was?
7 minutes.
And that was against?
Hull City.
Hull City in the old Division 2.
And I think I made the other 2 as well.
So an impressive career.
Yeah. Well, it should have been better, put it that way.
Hey, come on.
Could have been a lot better.
Big yourself up, man.
You've got to realise in them days that there wasn't much coaching going on. Players didn't get individual attention. And games, they're more thorough about the games these days than about the opposition. Where in my day, it was just go out and play.
Yeah, because you didn't have these sort of things and all your social medias and access to instant YouTube videos and one thing and another. 52 goals scored for Blues.
I believe so. Yeah.
Any just the one hat trick?
3 hat tricks with Birmingham.
3 were Blues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I got a couple with Millwall as well.
Because you went on from Birmingham to Huddersfield,
Millwall and Wimbledon.
Tell us about Wimbledon. Were promoted into the old Division 4. Was it back in the 70s?
I have no idea. The years just fly by.
In the mid-70s. And what did you actually achieve on that game?
I left Millwall, and it was the first season in the Football League for Wimbledon, and I scored on my debut, and it was their first ever league win, and I think it was against Northampton Town.
So their first ever league win in the whole of the divisions in the history of the club. You scored that goal.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Brilliant.
Phil Summerill, ladies and gents.
Yeah, claims to fame.
You've had the clap off the Tilton Talk Show.
And I would imagine as well, Phil, back then the ball that you played with and the pitches that you played on was so much different to nowadays.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I went to watch Solihull Moors play the other week, and I couldn't believe how the ball pinged about. And then I watched Birmingham last season, and the ball is unbelievable now. It looks like it's got extra bounce in it, and obviously the pitches now are superb.
Yeah.
And if you can't play on those pitches, you wouldn't be able to play at all. I'd have loved to have played, at the level that these pitches and balls are now. And I think it's far easier. You don't have to worry about the bounce, don't get stuck in the mud. And the ball flows.
Oh, back in
and
the old.
I think that makes players have better skills.
And there's no laces in it, of course, is there?
To be honest, I don't think there was laces in my day
either. Oh, Mr. Fun is absent today, but what we've got to do is wish him and his lovely lady all the congratulations in the world on their engagement over the weekend. And lovely, well put. He did it really nice and thorough, did a proper job on it. And it's upset him that much he's not turned up.
He's not turned up today?
So he's had fun over the weekend and burnt himself out.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay, on to Saturday's game. I was expecting a whole lot more. We started bright. The first 5 minutes were bright until such time as the lad, I can't remember which one it was, went down and Jude Bellingham got the ball and should have just attacked the goal. Instead, he put it out. I'm not going to blame the kid. He's 16 years old, right? Play to the referee's whistle. There wasn't a head injury. Just crack on, forget him, leave him on the floor, and go for goal.
True, yeah. Obviously, just showing good sportsmanship, I suppose, but he didn't have to do that.
All that, but game management we spoke about last week, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're gonna manage a game, then
no, you play to the whistle. I agree.
90 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we've got a caller on the line.
We've got our first caller on the line, and our first caller is Kevin. Hello, Kevin.
Hi guys, good evening. How are you all?
Yeah, we're all good, thanks. We're in the midst of a blues legend, Phil Summerill. Would you like to say hello?
Phil, lovely to see you. I can't say I've seen you live, but your stats show that you are one of the greatest goal scorers that we've had, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Lovely, thank you very much.
There you go. Caller power. Kev, it's actually good to hear your voice, and you're the very first live ever person we've had on the show to do the calling. Now, what you've got to do to get the calling, you have to download a small app to your phone. It's called Podbean Live, PODBEAN space live, and that's all you need. You get it from podbean.com, or I'm sure off the Apple Store. I know you can get it off the Apple Store because I've certainly downloaded it onto my phone. And then you can be part of the show. So, Kev, you're a legend.
If you follow us, then you get a notification that we're live as well. So if you look for SRB Media on Podbean, easy as that.
Okay, SRB Media on Podbean, and then you get all your notifications when we go live. Kev, your thoughts on the game Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just a quick word on the app and actually trialling this technology. If I can do it, I'm sure any of our support base can do it.
Hey, well put, mate.
So, Saturday's game, yeah, I agree with you, Nick. Very bright start, first 10 minutes. Then, once Preston settled, I think everybody was visibly upset, and the sound level went down in the stadium. We seemed to just drop 20 yards back towards our own goal line.
Yeah, played far too deep.
And we went.
Yeah,
we went to a very defensive. I jokingly described it as a 6-3-1. You know, our back four and two holding midfielders were scared to cross the halfway line, and we paid Preston just too much respect.
yeah.
We've actually played into their hands, to be fair, Kev.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, they just, like a lot of away teams, know they've got to just weather the storm first 10 minutes, settle in, and then try and get a foothold in the game, and they've done exactly that. But we ended up with such a chasm between our back six, jokingly but realistically say, and our three of Bellingham, Marabchi and Crowley, and Duke was just lost up top on his own, flicking balls on to nobody.
He got bullied out of the game as well, Duke, didn't he? He was absolutely battered, mullered him.
The ref didn't give him anything, though, did he?
To the ref, there was nothing all game.
No.
And I'll come on to the referee in a minute. Well, no, actually, I'll do it now because I saw something, and you might be interested in this, Kev, on Facebook earlier, and I did ask the gentleman if I could read it out, and he has kindly accepted, and his name was Mark Kerr. So the ref, Mr. Martin, as often partisan. Overseen. Sorry, right, I'll put my glasses on. It's so much better. So the ref, Mr. Martin, has now overseen Preston win 11 out of 15 games that he has reffed. I smell a rat. He stops play twice when we're attacking because of head injuries, that were leg injuries. Give them fouls for challenges when he ignored similar challenges against us. Alex Neil called for the drinks break, not the ref, because the Blues were getting on top. Anything Preston wanted, they got. Something very wrong here. And then he put a little update on. Turns out the ref is a vile fan from Staffordshire. How could he be allowed to ref our matches? EFL, not fit for purpose. By the way, did I watch the game on Blue? I did watch the game live on Blues TV, as I live in Dubai. And the commentary team regularly made reference to the way Alex Neil was instructing the ref. Thanks for that comment, Mark Kerr, all the way out there in Dubai. And what's your take on that, Kev?
Yeah, I think there is a very peculiar alignment of facts and stats there. And I think also with the EFL being based in Preston, they probably have no particular allegiance to Preston, but I think it's part of that started the the derogatory chants against the EFL going round the ground, and frustration that the team weren't performing particularly well. But yes, no one could believe that there was a drinks break called for, and as Pep, fair play to him, said afterwards, he said that, you know, where he's from, they've played in 36 to 40 degrees centigrade pitch side conditions, and they don't call for a drinks break. So yeah, we lost our momentum with that. We were building a little at that point, and we lost that momentum with that drinks break. So if that is becoming a feature that's accessible to managers in the EFL, across the EFL leagues, then it's almost going to become like calling a timeout in American football. Do it at a strategic time for certain impact.
On one hand, Kevin, I can actually understand it, because it was hot in the stadium, and our players aren't used to playing usually in the heat. You know, we suffer the cold February Tuesday nights, etc., etc. I'm sure Phil will remember plenty back in the day, and I can understand calling for a drinks break, but maybe the referee should have organised that. Spoke to the two managers beforehand and said, you know, halfway through this half, I'm going to stop play for a refreshment break.
I think
that's okay with the both of you.
Can I just say though, I think obviously the ref was poor, the officials were poor, but we were poor as well. Even if we'd have had a good referee, I don't think we'd have playing like that. We wouldn't have got anywhere.
I had somebody say earlier that if we were still playing them, we
wouldn't have scored, and we made Preston look like Barcelona. We were just playing far too deep. I've never seen a team enjoy playing out from the back so much. We just weren't putting them under any pressure, and they were just tippy-tapping it around their penalty box with none of our players anywhere near them.
I'd just like to say, was that because of the conditions they were allowed to play out?
No, we've got Jude Bellingham out on the left. He was on the left one. So yeah, that was kind of out of sorts. Really, he's not an out winger.
Crowley on the right.
It
wasn't working.
All over the place. Everything was all over the place.
Yeah, I can understand why he started it though after the result of Charlton with that team.
Yes,
but obviously once you see that it's not working after sort of
Andrews,
Paul, you know, I know. Yeah, Davis and Sunich in the middle is a bit.
This is St Andrews. This is where we should be ripping teams apart.
Yeah,
home,
I agree.
In front of our own crowd. The sky was, you know, beautifully blue.
Yeah.
We wore out in t-shirts.
Yeah.
And then the team hardly turned up.
No, I know. Yeah. Yeah, very very defensive tactics and very strange.
Nifty. I mean, I do think that Pep just paid Preston
anything else for you, Kev?
much. Yeah, I was just going to say very, very quickly, let other people get on with some chat. Pep just paid Preston too much respect.
Far too much.
Yeah.
Once we made changes, Jimenez, Villalba, Magoma coming on, that was almost the lineup we should have started with, because we improved so much in the last 20 minutes, but it was all a bit, plenty, but a bit too late. But for me, I've always been, in my comments that I've put on regularly over the weeks, been an advocate of patience for Pep, because I think he's inherited a difficult situation and he's making a good fist of it. But Saturday's game was the first time, and I thought, well, he's earned the right to be there for the foreseeable future, but I fear he's not the long-term solution for our dong ball revolution.
Yeah.
And I don't like this lurking presence of Javier Calm, who's now on the first team coaches bench on match days.
Yeah, there's something definitely going on there, isn't there?
Something going on behind the scenes.
I mean, my last line, and then I'll pop off, is really, you know, I think if Pep achieves consistency, we're terribly inconsistent, I think he'll remain. But I would say to us, you know, don't panic. We've got Calm, as in Javier Calm, to come in. And I do think we could see if things remain horribly inconsistent, I've still got a little bit of a feeling there'll be a change of management again in January.
Okay.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, we'll hold you to that, Kev, and then we'll catch up certainly in January and chat whether you're right or whether you're wrong.
Where are you sitting, Kev? Where do you sit in the ground?
Before that, obviously, but you know, we'll catch you in January and remind you.
Just wanted to ask Kev, where do you sit, mate? Whereabouts you sit in the ground?
I sit about 3 seats up from Ren Shandong in the director's box.
Oh, okay.
In the
Just behind me then.
No, I'm in block 27. But
Yeah.
I always have a little look over my shoulder, and you can see that to see which of our owners are present and who's about. So so yeah, I'm not far from you in the so-called posh seats.
Nice talking to you, mate.
Great to
Thank
talk to you,
you.
Kev. Thanks for being our very first caller on the Tilton Talk Show on Podbean. Podbean.
Cheers, guys. Have a
Okay,
good
so
show.
my day started off with a message from my sister saying, well, my day started off here, let's get it right. As you know, my son's got a shop in Derby, barber shop in Derby, right? So I was supposed to drive from my hometown to Derby to pick him up, to bring him and my granddaughter all the way into the Blues, all right? And bless him, the little duck. I'm texting him away, trying to get hold of him. I didn't know where to pick Ava up from, whether he'd take me to work or whether she was still at home or anything like that. And in the end, I got hold of his partner, and she said, "Oh, last I heard last night he was going on the train." So I thought, right. So I just left and got into St Andrews, and had a message off my sister to meet me at the bar at the front of the stadium where the car park is, but she couldn't remember the name. The Happy Abode, sister, the Happy Abode. She stood me up. I get to the Happy Abode because Adam had got my ticket, and lo and behold, they wouldn't let me in the bar because I hadn't got my ticket.
Ah,
So I stood outside. I said, "Can I just pop your head in and see if my sister's in there?" No.
wow.
I'm not one to argue with security staff. They're there to do a job. They've
Yeah.
obviously been directed to do it.
Yeah.
I really don't. I can understand like the thought process of not allowing away supporters in, but that's never been a problem there or Bar 8 or anywhere else. There's never been a problem.
No.
As far as I can see. So I don't quite get why they won't let you in without your ticket. However, there was a lovely gentleman there who watches the show every single week, and his name was Bill Fitzgerald. Bill very kindly went and got me a pint, and I
Fair
did thank
play.
him for that because it was very warm. Now, if there's anybody listening from Excessi Blues, we have a little problem which I'd like you to help us with. Bill's lovely wife Rita can no longer attend matches due to her disabilities. Could somebody from my lovely friends at Excessi Blues get in touch with Bill and let's see if we can get Rita back to a game?
That'd be good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There are some fantastic people out there at Excessi Blues. And whilst I'm on that subject, you've got to pay these guys credit for the Diversity Awards. Was it Friday? On Friday night.
Yes.
Our guys didn't win it this year. They did from up the road. But I do have to congratulate Big Singh for the amount of work that he actually put into their effort up the road.
Yeah.
In bringing them along and bringing them forward. I know they'll always trail behind us. I know that, but well done to Vic and everybody at the Diversity Awards, and it was great to see you. Great to see your dad as well on Saturday. Lovely man. Right, okay, so halfway through the game, or partway through the game, we had one of our own taken seriously ill, which was Lindsay Phillips' dad. Had a cardiac arrest actually at the game. Now, Lindsay is a lovely lady. She was one of the ones that helped bring me back from Wigan when I was stuck and stranded. So we give your dad all the very best, Lindsay. Just hope he's on the mend. And then something that we've never done in 9 years, and I don't know why we've not done it. Absolutely pay credit to the guys at St John's Ambulance for turning up and doing what they do at football games. Absolute credit to you. And, you know, for them to have been there, quite possibly saved that man's life.
Yeah. Full credit to him.
Get well soon, my good friend.
Yeah.
And Linda, Lindsay, sorry, if you're listening, all the very best to you as well, because it must have been a shocker for you, mate. And thoughts from everybody connected with the Tilton Talk Show are with you all. Okay.
Absolutely.
And a nice comment from Linda as well, Linda Hensel. She said, so glad Lindsay's dad is in recovery. Puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
They only lost the
absolutely.
game.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Onwards.
Linda.
Totally right, yeah.
I'm going to give you a very deep voice for that one. And it's mint flavoured chewing gum, by the way. It keeps the dulcet tones low. We had a little bit of another pie gate on Saturday because we had an announcement from the club saying that they'd had words with the suppliers after some complaints for some supporters. I don't know where they might have come from. About the standard of the pies, and they had been in touch with the pie supplier, Hollands, I think that it is, right?
Yeah.
and they've made some adjustments. Now, Adam Wilkes does have a video. I don't know whether he's posted it, but he's not
I've got it. I was going to stitch it together, but
Right, okay.
But I haven't had time.
Okay,
I'll
so
do
you've
it-
got
I'll
you've
do
got
it
the
later,
video, so we'll wait for that video then, and
Yeah.
then you can post your verdicts
I saw someone sat behind me eating one
on
when I got into the
so-
ground. It
Yeah.
didn't look a lot different to what we had, if I'm honest. But
I can tell you now, the sides of the pastry, certainly on Adam's, were softer. Now, whether the girl saw
Okay.
me come in and recognised me from the other week, I don't know. And give me, like, I had one special waiting under there. But they still ain't. Pork apart.
But that was me, obviously, just glancing at someone eating one. I wasn't going to stand there and completely observe it. Obviously, she would have thought I was probably a bit of a weirdo.
Nick, I need to butt in with this. Lindsay Nichols says, "Hey, can I just say it wasn't St John's Ambulance? It was Immediate Care Medical.
Okay,
I was
thanks.
part of the team who helped Lindsay's dad, and that's Lindsay Nichols who said that.
Thanks, Lindsay Nichols, for clearing that up. But, you guys all do such an amazing
fantastic
job to
job,
keep us safe. And that goes, obviously, for players on the pitch as well, because, without the medics there sometimes, boom, we could be in all sorts of strife. So,
Can I just read out a quick comment? Question for you, Phil, from a gentleman called Brett Stanley. Phil, please clear something up for me. I'm convinced your mum was my dinner lady at school. Ridpool Jr., is this true? It is a lifelong memory for me.
It's
I
got a
hope
good-
it's true.
Yeah, it's a good chance it's true. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you,
Yeah.
yeah?
We lived in the Lee, which was round by Whittington Oval, and I think the Ridpool Road School's somewhere around there.
Okay.
I think that's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah.
there you go.
Excellent. There you go, Brett.
Brett Stanley.
Yeah.
Hey, blimey.
He's been hoping that that's true for a lifelong memory, so we can confirm that's true.
Well, there you go, Brett. That has been done live on the Tilton Talk Show. Right, I want to now talk about the atmosphere inside the stadium. It was lousy. What is it with us? Look, I know some people saying, "Oh, instead of moaning, get off your bums and sing." Well, I do, right? I was right again by the away supporters joining in, giving it some.
Yeah.
I don't know. And people seem to spend so much time on their mobile phones at the football game. Put your mobile phones down. It's a game of football. Watch the match.
I didn't get a lot of people leaving. Like
Pew's rant of the week.
I know it was bad, but with about 8 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, there's quite a few people leaving at 1-0.
Yeah.
Because
And
that was at the
writing
point.
was on the wall, wasn't it?
Well, we were starting to attack a bit. We had a disallowed goal, which was offside, by the way. But
Are you sure that was offside? Because
Yeah.
I've not seen it. Right?
Yeah.
100% offside.
I've seen a picture. Yeah, he was probably about. It wasn't much in it, but he was offside.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. But other than that, I can't remember their keeper making a save.
Are the players expected to raise the fans rather than the fans raise the
You
players?
answer that question because you've played on the field of play and I haven't, right?
If you get the encouragement from the fans, and
Yeah.
I've known it with 48,000 in there against
Yeah.
Cardiff, the difference the crowd make.
Yeah.
And
To your performance.
to everybody's performance.
okay.
It gives you a
Yeah.
great big buzz,
Yeah.
and you can run through brick walls and
Yeah.
whatever.
And that's what we were saying.
We did it against Stoke. That keep right on after Stoke scored
Yeah.
last week. Drowned it out Delilah.
Yeah.
And, the team went on and won 2-1.
Yeah.
The whole ethos changed. Everything
It's
changed.
got to
about
affect
it.
the players. It's got to affect the players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, listen, girls and boys. Phil Summerill, professional footballer for Birmingham City, 52 goals scored, right? Fastest ever goal scorer and the fastest hat-trick. And you got 3, didn't you? 3 lots of hat-tricks for Blues, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? Is telling us, right, straight from the horse's mouth, that it makes a difference if we are noisy.
Yeah.
I'm moaning old git, aren't I?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I think what you say is right, though, Phil. The players have got to raise the fans rather than the fans raise the players.
Well,
Which
there's
way round
nothing
is it,
more
Phil?
embarrassing when you can just hear just a single fan shouting out,
Yeah.
rather than everybody shouting together, because
Yeah.
that's what really lifts you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people still
And-
arrive in 10
And I
and 15
still don't
minutes
know
after
whether
the
it's
game started.
I still don't know whether it's the players who've got to raise the fans or the fans who've got to raise the players. But I'm sure if the fans raise the players, it'll make a hell of a difference.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. I think, usually an early goal or a good passage of play early on usually gets the crowd lifted.
Well, back in the 70s,
But-
when you were playing, right, back in the late 60s and 70s, right, but back in the I didn't go till 1973. When did your career end at Blues? Have a gander on that page.
73, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's 73.
73.
Yeah.
My first game was the Texaco Cup game at St Andrews against Newcastle. The one because it had been abandoned because we couldn't have the floodlights on,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And Blues were playing almost in the pitch dark. There was some kind of fuel issue going on at the time.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
they
remember that.
3-day week, was it?
They,
Yes.
Yeah, they replayed the game, and the week previous to that, Tony wanted to have his leg broken against Newcastle. So that was my very first game. So I don't know whether you played in that one or not. Cause
I don't know.
last night
But I mean, as a supporter, I go back to the Intercities Fair days and things like that. Finals against Barcelona. I've actually been to Barcelona's ground and after seeing the Intercities Fairs Cup there.
Oh,
with
I
Birmingham's
was only
name
there while there wasn't a game on, and I didn't video it, but I sang "Keep Right On" to the end of the road at the top of my voice in their football stadium too. Right, I did, mate. Yeah.
I always said, like, you know, used to get names like Sampdoria, Pistoia, and the teacher used to say, "You're looking tired today, Phil." I said, "Well, I was at the game last night, and things like, you know." And she said, "Did you learn anything?" I said, "Yeah, I learned a lot of geography." Knowing where Pistoia and Sampdoria is from and all things like that. And those days were absolutely unbelievable. And the fans were there, you know, sort of like well over 40,000, getting on to 50,000. It was incredible. And obviously, they were all standing there then.
The sight of that Cop and the Tilton, man, you know what? Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, when that was full proper, that was proper days.
Oh, yeah. When was your favourite? Who was your favourite ever player as a fan? So watching from the stands, who did you like most when you watched the Blues as a fan?
Oh, there were so many players. I mean, my first one was Eddie Brown, centre forward, who played in the '56 Cup final team. There were so many good players.
Yeah.
I can't really say at the moment. We used to have. There was a left winger, Harry Hooper. Bertie Auld,
Heard that name.
Mick Hellowell,
Yeah.
Jimmy Bloomfield, Ken Leake, Jimmy Harris. So many great players.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Brilliant times.
Yeah.
Brilliant times, and a proper stadium to go with it.
Yeah.
But you know, back then, I mean, even back in the 70s, we'd get there 15, 20, 30 minutes before the game started, and we'd be roaring. You know, you must have heard it from inside the dressing room. It was that noisy, St Andrews was. Yeah. And it was. You know, I know times have changed. I know things have.
But times have changed. You wasn't even allowed on the pitch beforehand, you know, because you'd cut the pitch up too much before the game. So there's those type of things, you know.
And the kids used to sit on the grass all around the verges.
Yeah.
Quick question from Craig Courtney, Phil. Who's your favourite player you ever played with, and also against? So the best player you played with and against.
The best player I played with was Jimmy Greenough.
Yeah.
And the hardest player I played against was Norman Hunter.
Norman Hunter from Leeds. Yeah.
From Leeds, yeah.
Blimey. Question for you from Mark Andrew Adams. Phil, do you remember Quinton Little League 1989? You helped me get into Prudential Players. We did the double, played in Wood Lane, Harborne.
I should know Quinton Little League because I set it up.
There you go.
There you go.
There you are, Mark.
Life after football went on for me, and eventually I became football development officer for Birmingham City Council. But in those early days, I was football development officer, and I was somebody in the Birmingham City Council decided to have a sports development team, and I was in and about round that time, and I managed to get a job, and with sort of no background to anything, I suddenly was told about Little League football, and obviously they always had Little League basketball in America, and they got the plans and done it and changed it for football. And so what it was for kids who probably hadn't got great ability or lack of parent support, and they were guaranteed to play every week. So each team, after trials, would have 13 players, 9, 10s and 11s, and every player had to play at least half a game, and there was 3 matches every Saturday morning, and I set up about I think 8 little leagues and 3 girls little leagues as well to go along with that. And it was absolutely fantastic. And people who know me, especially around the Acox Green area, know what I did for all those kids. Because I was very lucky, very lucky. I moved back in the Midlands in about 81, and there was more people unemployed than there were in work. And the Birmingham City Council set an unemployed football league up. And I managed to get a job for 6 hours a week, because I just come back from living in Bromley in Kent when I played for Millwall and Wimbledon. And when I came back, as I say, there was mass unemployment, and they set up this unemployed football league. And from there, it was 6 hours a week. From there, I got a job as and I managed to get work in the Acox Green area with all the unemployed people. And from there, I went on to be a football development officer, Birmingham City Council. I got my full coaching licence. I did Birmingham's Centre of Excellence for 2 seasons, but it got a bit much when I had to keep washing the kit and driving the minibus. And what really did it in the end, the players went into a shop and raided it, and I thought, I can't take anymore, so I left. And then Peter With contacted me from the Villa, and I did 8 years at Villa's Academy. I know that, and I was never a Villa supporter, obviously, but life was good to me after that. And
I couldn't accept a job there. I couldn't.
I think it was a great opportunity to develop my coaching skills, working with talented players. Yeah, and there was a lot of talented players, and I think the things that's just come out of Aston Villa now, because I put my house on some of the players making the grade, and they never even played, and I used to try and contact a few of them to see what was happening. And they, because of the abuse they took, they didn't play.
Right.
And they just packed up playing football completely. And only 1 or 2 of them actually progressed. Gary Cahill, Agbonda Hall, Boaz Mail, and there was probably Callum Davenport, who went to Tottenham, and Tottenham sold to Coventry, who sold him to Tottenham for 12 million. They were probably the only players in 8 seasons that actually made the grade. So there must have been a big problem somewhere at Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think that has that case finished now, or is it still ongoing? If it's still ongoing, we won't comment. I'll tell you what, we won't comment.
I'm not sure.
We've had a complaint that Phil has said Aston Villa
twice.
too many times. Sorry.
We bear them the courtesy of their postcode, which is B6.
Yes.
But that is as far as we go. That is as far as we go.
I was punished as a young lad when if I played up. My granddad used to take me down to the Villa because he was a big Villa supporter when I lived in King's Standing, and I had to go, and I was punished.
5 strikes and you're out.
Nick, Steve Portman says to get the lad in touch with you.
Who, sorry?
To get in touch with them. The lad you were speaking about earlier, to get in touch with Accessi Blues.
Yeah, Accessi Blues, my dear friends. I will get that organised as soon as I get home tonight.
And also to mention that Accessi Blues have now got a charity status, which means they can do more now.
So they're a registered charity.
They are,
well done, guys. I tell you what, that group is growing. Week on week, you know, there are so many good things that come out of there, aren't there? And do so much good for supporters as well. Quite often, it was like the other week, the disabled supporters were left with able-bodied supporters in front of them, right, who were stood up and they missed half the game because obviously the poor beggars are in blinking wheelchairs, you know what I mean, which is a bit poor, really.
Yeah,
so
very.
Football can do a lot more. Football grounds and you know, those that run football can do an awful lot more, and it is down to our diversity groups and Accessi Blues and people like that to keep driving and pushing and driving and pushing. And I know that they do such a wonderful job, and thank them very much indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, so I will definitely get that sorted out with Bill and Rita. But it would be a pleasure to get Rita back down to a game. She's not been for quite a while, and Bill, I think he lives out in. Don't know, can't remember. It'll come to me in a minute. But he's also struggling now to get into night games because the guy that he used to have a lift has changed his shifts, so he can't get to night games anymore. But I'll find out. I'll find out where he's from, and then we'll see what we can do for him. Because lovely man, top man, you know. And I mean, look, nobody forgets this face. Nobody, right? So I'm easily recognisable at St Andrews because I'm so ugly. So, no, you're not, Nick, did you?
No, you're not, Nick.
Should I pull your strings?
My mic's not working.
But no, to be recognised for that gentleman to do that for me, man, boom, that was... and I sit there and had a smashing conversation with him for about 40 minutes while I was waiting for my sister who stood me up. No, she got delayed on the trains, apparently.
Yeah.
We've got to say a big happy birthday to the one and only Mrs. Brown, 61 tomorrow. Dun, 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 dun.
What's going on for this 61?
Right, that's that done with.
Happy birthday for tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
You don't like birthdays, do you?
No, hate them.
Yeah.
Hate them.
They come around every year as well, don't they? Horrible things. Horrible things. Funny stories from the dressing room, Phil. What you got?
That you can talk about legally.
Let me think.
We'll give you a minute to ponder on that one then.
I really can't. And I'm stuck at the moment.
Who was the sort of biggest character you played with? Who was the most sort of funniest? The one who got, like, you know, the lads laughing and stuff?
Can't think of anybody at Birmingham.
They're all miserable.
I think it was tension. Couple of.
Was Trevor Rocky still there when you were?
Trevor was there. Yeah,
'cause he was a character, wasn't he, Trevor Rocky? Or was he not?
I don't know.
It always comes over as quite loud.
You always seen characters. Mike Helliwell was a character. Jimmy Bloomfield was a character. I remember Malcolm Beard racing, because Mick Helliwell was so fast. He'd start at one end of the pitch and Malcolm Beard would start at the halfway line, and they'd have a race to the other end of the pitch. But there were so many funny things that used to go on when I first joined Birmingham, and it was never serious until Joe Mallet come and changed the whole system and introduced coaching, and the experienced players, they couldn't do it. They couldn't handle it. Because they were being actually organised.
Yeah.
So I don't know about characters.
Any pranksters? Would there be like pranks played on?
Oh,
yeah.
Too many to mention.
Yeah.
Far too many.
Craig Courtney says, who was Phil's favourite player on the same team, and who we played against? I think we've done the same too, haven't we? But
the one he played against as well
Jimmy Greenough, his favourite
was
player.
Norman Hunter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin French said, would Phil knock down the main stand?
The dinosaur of a stand that we've still got there, that's been there for
It's the Ray Hobro
since
mate,
1908.
stand. It's the Ray Hobro.
The Ray Hobro stand,
To coin its proper phrase.
Yeah.
I think he'd have to go, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Finish it off nicely, wouldn't it now? If we could.
That's one listener we've lost then.
I actually remember the railway end. I remember that stand being built when I was probably 15 or 16, something
Really?
like 17. Because before that, the steam trains used to come along and you couldn't see nothing at the railway end. Because in my days, it used to blow across the pitch.
Crikey.
Wow.
Yeah, Justin Layton says, I made the 800-mile round trip from Arbroath with my wee lad on Saturday to watch the Blues. Great to be back at St Andrews again. However, I must say the football ruined it for us. A lot of work to be done, I think. I must add, the ref and the linesman were shocking second half. They were shocking first half as well, mate. But well done to you for making an 800-mile round trip just to go and watch the Blues.
Oh, definitely.
Fair play.
Fair play to you.
Good effort,
Justin
that is.
Layton, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, nice one. Well done. Nice one.
Craig says, did you set up the Kings Norton League as well?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because apparently that's how he met and interviewed his sister.
Huh?
Need some more information on that one, I think.
Steve Murray says, nice to see the waistcoat back, Nick. It's a gilet, please. It's a gilet. Right. And it's raining outside. Last week it was warm, so I left it in the car. But it is back. It's back for the winter season, the gilet.
Should we do the alphabet now?
I was without the gilet on Saturday.
It was warm, wasn't it? It was very warm.
Yeah.
Should we do the alphabet now?
Yeah, well, could we get Phil to draw it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Please.
Have we got it there, Chris?
Okay, yeah, I'll bring it round to you.
Right, okay. Every week what we do, Phil, is we've got 26 letters in this little cup, and every single week we either draw one out or get somebody to draw one out.
Yeah.
And the people then tell us who the best player at St Andrews, surname only, beginning with this letter that you're going to pull out of here. And then we're going to make a team of 26 come the end of the year, and then pick a team of 11 out
Of 11 out of that 26. What we got?
J.
Oh, I was hoping it was going to be S.
Jay.
J, I'll start you off with hotter.
We've had a few good Johnsons, haven't we? Michael,
Yeah,
Roger,
Johnsons, yeah.
Damien.
Yeah. So J, people. So
J.
surname only, please. And for the next 5 or so minutes, then we'll collect those up, and you'll collate them, I'm sure, and then we'll write it on the back.
Any you think of yourself, Phil?
Andy Johnson.
Well, we had Landy Johnson, the block.
Yes, he was good. Yeah. Well, I'll say he was good. He was better when he left, wasn't he? But other clubs, unfortunately, it was a shame.
I saw him against his first game, and I thought, you know what, this lad's going to shine.
There's a few for Jerome. Cameron Jerome.
Yeah.
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 Djukovic.
Of course.
Of course.
Goodness me. The man mountain Duke.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, going back onto Accessi Blues, Steve Portman just wants to remind Wolves 2 doing some amazing work. We're trying our best to get on par with these other clubs. We've sorted Century packs as a start for supporters with Century needs and are looking into our next venture already. Keep up the good work, mate. Keep up the go. Ray Hobro, Nick, Gilet, make razors. Is it, what do you call it? Is it a gilet?
A gilet, innit? A gilet. A gilet.
Terry Zulu Dempsey's gone for Jerome. Jarosky from Ray Hobro. Jury Jarosky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jerome.
Adam
Jury-
Wilkes, Jerome. Wazas, Jerome.
Yarosik, you mean? Yarosik.
Yeah.
Yarosik, yeah, he means Yarosik.
Yeah. Stone John, that's a good shout.
Oh,
Michael Johnson from Pete Taylor. Peddywood's gone for Damien Johnson. Jukey, Adam Wilkes, Jukey, Jerome.
Stone John's a good shout.
Johnson,
Stern
Jukey,
John.
Stern John from Big Sing. VAR. Dave Twine's also gone for the Stern John. He was a good player in his day, Stern John.
He was very good. He scored some important goals as well.
That
Obviously,
one
the
for
one at Millwall as well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The one obviously at their place in the last minute, which was nice. I remember him getting a last minute. I think it was an equaliser or winner. I'm sure people will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure it was an equaliser to draw 1-1 with Newcastle at home,
Right.
as well in the Premier League.
Okay. Craig Courtney says, my dad said Phil was as rapid as a whippet when he played.
It's nice to know. I got all that mud slowing me down, though.
Back to what Craig was saying about his sister. He says, my sister was one of the young girls who was first involved in the game. He got her playing in the Little League, and she went on to spend over 15 years playing at B6
Wow.
before doing some coaching. My dad remembers taking her to Pebble Mill for an interview. There we go.
Just shows.
Good work there.
Actually, the first girls' little league I set up was the Yardley Little League, and I don't know whether this is what I should say, but Karen
Brady.
Karen Brady actually opened the first girls' little league in Yardley.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, right.
And there's a lot of stories. I went to which was an art school down Sparkbrook. I'm trying to think of the name of it now. What it's called now. And I was promoting some football courses, and these three great big Asian lads come up to me, and I thought, oh God, what's going on here? And they were lads who first played in Ty's Little League when they were 8 and 9 years old, and when I saw them again, they were like 6 foot. I don't know, I couldn't believe the difference, and they really gave me a really great welcome. So there are lots of things gone on in the past that I've been linked with. So I'm really pleased about that.
Good story. Good story. I had a little bit of feedback off Kev Kelly, I think it is, isn't it? Kev Kelly.
Yeah.
He said, as far as Podbean, and we want you to all download this, as far as Podbean goes, Chris' sound quality was superb and very natural interactions. This could be very good.
I thought he was here. I thought he was in the room.
It was really good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was good.
To be honest, the tests we did with Adam Wilkes, that sounded spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Very good.
But you do have to download Podbean to be able to call into the show, and what we would love to do is speak to more and more of you every week.
Of course, yeah. There are 24 people standing by. If all they've got to do is press that button. They're in that chat box now. So
however, there are rules because we do go out live.
Yeah.
Absolutely no swearing and no abuse. No. Absolutely.
And it's always BCFC.
Any kind whatsoever. We're here. We've been here 9 years, and we want to be here for at least another 90.
Yeah.
Good shout from Tin Andrews, another player beginning with the letter J, Martin Urinek.
Yeah.
He was a good centre-half in the League Cup final.
Yeah.
He played in the League Cup final. He only played a few games for us, but he performed well, didn't he?
Yeah. Kevin Sampson says, Phil, what were your wages like in your day? I'm guessing.
I would say nothing compared to what today. I think the most I ever got was 12,000 a year, and that was at Millwall.
That's quite
a lot of money then, isn't it?
Good wage though, wasn't it, back then?
When was that, 70?
Well, the difference is, I mean, I was 15, went to Birmingham, I was earning more than my dad. So, that's how it was.
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your first appearance for Blues was against who?
Ooh, I got subbed. I can't remember.
What would
I think it was
as a youngster. You were sitting in that dressing room, and you could obviously hear the Tilton and the Cotton and the place starting to buzz, and the atmosphere growing and growing. What must it just have been like to walk down that tunnel for the first time ever?
It was so nerve-wracking. It was unbelievable.
It
was so nerve-wracking. I couldn't tell you. I can't remember the first game because it was as if I was in a trance during the whole of the game.
Yeah, bit surreal.
I am usually at most games when I'm watching.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I always remember on the Monday morning when I was at Oundon training, and Joe Mallet, I was with the first team squad, and Joe Mallet said, "You go there with the reserves," and that was after my debut. So that's how impressive it must have been.
Is that where we trained then, Phil? Oundon Park?
Yeah.
Oh,
right. It was
okay.
Park, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Right up to the end of the 70s. That was.
Really, yeah.
The 80s as well. Early 80s.
I remember it at where Solihull Moors play now, up that way, wasn't it? Damson Lane, was it? The training ground?
Yeah.
And then obviously we moved to Wast Hills. Yeah. After that, didn't we? So I remember that, but I didn't know we trained at Oundon Park.
Yeah.
But it wasn't actually Oundon Park. It was
set back a bit, wasn't it?
It was just down the road from the Bakerlight ground. That's where the Moors play now, on the Bakerlight.
That's it.
Pitch.
Oh, okay.
And we used to walk from Oundon, the playing surfaces from there to Bakerlight for our lunch, because there was no lunch ever provided for players in those days. So there's a big change.
Not even the top professionals, no lunch, nothing.
No lunch, nothing.
No.
It's quite surprising, isn't it?
Kevin Sampson, Phil's asking, the best manager you ever played for? Who's the best manager you ever played for?
I can't say he's probably the best, but the most organised manager was Freddie Goodwin. Even though Fred got rid of me, I must appreciate him that he was thorough in what he did.
Yeah.
And I also, when I went to Millwall and Gordon Jago was manager, he was really well organised as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say really. I think probably go with Freddie Goodwin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of my best times down there were under Freddie. I loved it. And of course, you're probably a little bit too young to remember them, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. I started going. The first manager that I saw down there was Gary Pendry,
Oh, right.
1987. So
that's the year of that Stoke debacle, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. I got a letter
Yeah.
off. No, that wasn't Gary Pendry. It was Terry Cooper, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, because I got a letter off. I wrote to Terry and just said how ashamed I was that
Oh, when he left.
just before he left.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was there then.
After that, the incident at the Stoke game.
Yeah,
with
I
Roger
did.
Wiseman.
I did Gary Pendry, Dave McKay.
Yeah.
Then it was Terry Cooper, wasn't it? And then Barry Fry, and then obviously Francis Bruce and so on. So yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like in Barry Fry's days?
Funny. Just
You
funny.
signed everybody, didn't
Everybody.
Yeah.
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 Anybody and everybody you
Yeah.
signed.
Yeah.
There is a song written about him about that, you know. There's a CD available at the club shop, and it's on there. Fly Barry Fry, you're an hell of a guy.
He was such a character, though, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah,
He was
yeah.
a great character of the game. Still is, obviously. You know, but he did sign some good players. Obviously, I think he signed 100 players, and I'd say a good 30% of them turned out to be quite good, didn't they?
And of course, he took us to a final as well.
He did, yeah. That was a great day out in '95, yeah, when we beat Carlisle.
Yeah.
Was that the first ever golden goal that was
It
scored?
was the first ever golden goal.
Yeah.
And
Paul Tate.
Tatey got
Yeah.
the very first one in the very first round at St Andrews. There were only about 3,000 people there, and I was there.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll tell you now, when we played Ipswich in the semi-final of that very noisy St Andrews, I was in the Gilmerick lower, right? And then when we scored, I thought it was goal, and I was still celebrating the fact that we were off to the Millennium for about 3 minutes until I realised they kicked off again. I do get carried away, Phil. I can't help it.
Ray says, Phil, what was the training like? You know, when you started.
I'll give you an example. The first team never saw a ball till Friday, but fortunately we had a Spanish coach, youth coach, Emilio Aldicar, and we used to have a ball all the time. But in them days, as I say, it was just run. Everything was physical, and they get the ball. Literally, they get the balls out on a Friday, and that was it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's strange to believe, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
Here's our professional
Or
footballers.
they
We'll
play,
teach them to run.
or they would play a practice match, something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But nothing was done on what systems to play and strengths and weaknesses of players and oppositions and things like that.
Yeah.
Graham Haynes wants you in every week. You smile more than Mr. Fun does. Who would you pay to watch once Paul Chewitt? Who would Phil pay to watch?
What? So he's playing now?
Yeah.
Does he mean? Yeah. So from today's game.
Who would I pay to watch?
What team?
Oh, it's got to be Man City.
Man City.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, but they seem to be. I mean, I obviously like watching Liverpool, but I do watch a lot of football.
Yeah.
But it's got to be Man City at the moment.
Craig Courtney, who does an awful lot of work for us on Twitter, thank you, Craig, wants to know, so when Phil was a player, it was a man's game, and if you were kicked, people stood up and kicked you back. What did you think of the game today, and with people diving and rolling around every 5 minutes?
Is it really that bad? I don't know. I know it's hard to tackle these days because obviously you get a yellow card and then you're.
Yeah, the physicality's not the same, is it, as it used to be?
No, it's nothing to when I played. I mean, you just get. First thing was the fullback put the winger into the terraces as far as he could. The centre halves will batter the strikers as hard as they could, and that's how the game would start.
I'm finished.
Seriously,
yeah.
Played against Larry Lloyd when I was playing for Millwall against Forest. I think it was their last game of the season, and we lost 1-0. And there was a cross from the left-hand side, and our own left back went to clear it, and he volleyed it into her own goal. So we actually lost the game 1-0. But Larry Lloyd battered me all day, and I said, "You're not doing it. You won't do it again." And I managed to get my own back, and he had a few stitches above the eye. And then after in the players' bar after, he said, "Pass me a beer," and not in a nice way. So I took the top off the beer, handed him, and I was unknown that the top of the bottle had actually come off, so there was a sharp edge. So when he put it in to drink it, he's got this sharp edge. And after that, he was chasing me around the bar trying to hit me with the bottle. And that's absolutely true. But the story was that Forest got to promotion, and they got to the first division. In the first season, they won the first division and became champions. And then after that, they won the European Cup for 2 years running.
Yeah.
And it was all from John Moore's own goal.
And of course, Trevor scored in the European Cup final.
And of course, Trevor scored in the European Cup final.
That famous header. Andy Monterio, how was the refereeing in the 70s compared to today?
I think it's far better today.
Yeah.
The referees just got away with murder. I'm sure that they favoured teams in those days. It's certainly. And I don't think they had support, the referees and the linesmen in those days as they do as they have now. But I think the referees are far better now. They know what they're looking for.
A lot of people would be shocked at that, you say now.
Yeah.
People would be saying, oh, God. Because that's all we ever do, isn't it? We moan about the referees.
Well, we haven't got VAR yet, have we?
No, not yet.
Not yet. So that will give us something to moan at when that comes in. What's your thoughts on VAR?
I liked it at the start, but I'm so confused now this season. I think there's got to be daylight between the offside. There's got to be daylight between the forward and the defender.
Totally agree with that.
It's no good having centimetres or whatever. There's got to be daylight.
Yeah.
If there's daylight, he's onside
Yeah.
or offside, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If any part of your body is level with the player, you're on side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And handball's ridiculous as well, isn't it?
Everything's ridiculous now.
Yeah.
It's so confusing. And it's spoiling the game.
But I think that's more to do with the rules, isn't it, than the actual VAR?
Yeah.
The VAR is just there to help them get to the right decision.
Yeah.
You know.
I supported it when it first
Yeah,
came
yeah.
out. But
Yeah,
this
I like it.
season, with the new rules as well, I don't know.
A little bit confused, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right, questions flying in there. Mark Adams, was there any players you didn't get on with? You don't have to say if you don't want to.
No, I don't think there was.
No. Adam Wilkes wants to know if you ever met Jasper Carrott out of interest.
Yeah, I met Jasper. Yeah.
Nice job.
I've met him a few times actually. Yeah.
Stephen Gill asked Phil what was his favourite goal.
And there was a lot of them.
Oh, favourite goal. It's got to be my very first goal. I think it was against Portsmouth. We beat them 5-2. It was actually with my right foot because that was only for standing on usually. But I actually scored with my right foot. Debut goal, yeah. I think that Birmingham got off to a bad start and he put 4 or 5 teenagers in and we beat them Portsmouth 5-2.
Brilliant.
Okay,
Mickey
thanks.
Darrell in those days, Mickey Bullock and people like that.
Didn't you say you were in a game as well when Trevor scored 4? And did you set them all up?
I can't say I set them all up. I set at least 3 of them up.
Yeah?
Yeah. The best one was when we was on a terrific run and we played Cardiff and it was absolutely rammed. People probably played 48,000, and we used to get paid gate money in those days. Every 1,000 over 25,000, we get an extra £1, and then if we get to 13, you go an extra £2 or £3. And I'm sure they fiddled it when they said there was 48,000. I'm sure there must have been 58,000.
Mark Adams, is Phil still in touch with Trevor Francis?
I speak to him now and again, but very rarely. I used to see him quite a lot, but I think he's gone off to various parts of the world now.
Property developer.
He's in South Africa, property developer in Barnt Green. Yeah, he's got his son's work in there, so he's doing. But obviously, losing Helen was a fantastic loss. And I used to meet Helen quite a lot and see her around the supermarkets in Knowle and in Solihull. And I always remember she was such a wonderful woman. She'd speak to you for ages and ages, and I'd have to say, Helen, I said, I'm sorry, I've got to go. She says, why is that, Phil? I said, well, the frozen food's defrosted now. And I said, I've got to get home.
Bless her.
She was a fantastic
Lovely,
woman.
yeah. Okay, the questions are still flying in. Mandy Irvin, what do you think about drinks breaks?
I've never had them, so I can't say. But was it that hot Saturday?
It was quite hot,
Yeah,
actually.
it was actually hot because I was working outside, yeah. But we're not used to it, so probably in that situation, yeah, drinks breaks are a good thing.
Okay, Kevin Simpson. Phil, ever considered becoming a manager in the pro game?
Not really, no.
No,
no
that one will
no,
do for that one. Mike Smith wants to know what you think of Jude Bellingham.
Haven't seen him.
You've not seen him?
Not
Okay.
seen him.
Craig Courtney, Phil does a lot of work with the Ex-Players Association, but whose stories are the best?
Gotta be hot, mate. He likes to have a few.
I honestly don't know. I really don't know.
No worries. Mick Greaves, that's Phil the best player in the Premier League today. Best player. I'm going to say Harry Kane. Harry Kane, there you go. That's Phil's decision on that one. Does Phil think young players earn too much nowadays? That's from Graham
far
Haynes.
too much.
Far too much.
My son worked for a pro zone, and his first assignment club was Manchester United, and he worked with Alex and Mickey Phelan and all those people, and he had to get all the stats into it. And he had this old Renault 5, and he was really embarrassed because all these young lads used to turn up in these baby Bentleys as if they'd already made the grade, and I think that's where it's gone wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
It's gone very wrong. Very wrong. Phil, whose boots did you have to clean from Ray Hobro?
Oh,
Ray Hobro is the owner of the main stand, by the way.
I had 3 sets. I think one was Jimmy Bloomfield's, one was Alex Jackson's, and I can't remember the other one. No, I can't remember the other one. But we used to have to, and of course our boots, our own boots, were immaculate because we used to clean it and obviously do all the other things as well. But with Alex Jackson, he used to compare his boots with our boots and say, why aren't our boots as clean as your boots and or as shiny as your boots?
So which players cleaned your boots then?
Anybody famous?
No, I don't think so. No, I can't really remember now. No.
Does that still go on? Do the apprentices?
I don't think it does go on now. No,
No,
I think
Shame, really, isn't it?
they employ people now to clean dressing rooms and paint the stands and
Manicures,
yeah.
Yeah, it's changed so much. Kevin Skidmore remembers Phil scoring a hat-trick against Bolton 5-0.
Big Bolton 5-0, you scored a hat-trick, yeah?
Because you had pretty good goal ratio. It was quite a good goal ratio, wasn't it? I've seen a couple of, it's on the 52 or 40.
52 all competitions, yeah.
What was the most you got in one season, Phil? Can you remember?
21.
21.
Yeah.
And I never scored in the last 6 games of the season, which is really disappointing.
Alan Wilkes wants to know the best goal you scored against the neighbours.
Well, probably the only one actually. It was absolutely right. 60,000.
I'm glad you remember this one, my
60
man.
odd thousand, I think, in St Andrews.
Can you imagine that, people?
And Colin Withers was in goal for Aston Villa, and obviously he was at Birmingham at one stage. And we're 0-0, and I scored the first goal, and I was 19 years old, and we beat them, I think, eventually 4-0.
Wow.
And on the evening, it was my mate's 21st birthday party in Great Bar. And it was absolutely fantastic because obviously you could imagine the Argus that evening.
Yeah.
And they're all Villa supporters because obviously Great Bar, that's where they all come from. Apart from the lad who's Les Burbage's whose birthday it was, he was 21. And so it was, I can still remember that now. It was a fantastic occasion, especially to first score the first goal against Aston Villa.
What was the goal like? Header, volley?
Half volley tapping.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Don't matter how they go in.
No, don't matter, does it?
Don't matter.
I think it was a shot, and I just turned and reacted quickly,
Yeah.
and just got there first and stuck it in. And I've still got the picture of the goal in my toilet at home.
Great place for it, that is.
It's
Go what, sorry?
It's a great place for it, isn't it, in his toilet?
Yeah.
I've got some fantastic pictures in there.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Mark Adams wants to know, Phil, did you go to Wembley for the Carling Cup final?
No.
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 There you go. That's an answer to that one. That's answered that. Kev Sampson, did you have a trademark celebration?
No, not at all. No, just arm pointed in the air and just traditional. Yeah.
Interjection.
3-word review, which I almost forgot.
Oh, me too. It's been what? 22.
So, yeah, we're nearly into the last 15.
God, it was about 20 past 8.
If your name is Callum, John, or Rolf, you are a winner with officiating was disgraceful. And that's his 3-word review. Well done, Callum. Get in touch.
There you go, Callum, get in touch. Now, all you got to do to be in for next week's competition is share this on your personal stream. I know lots of you have already done so. Mrs. Brown diligently goes through it every single week, checks out every share, puts them all in a hat, in a cup, and we then draw out for the prizes for this week, which will be a goodie bag of Keep Right On clothes. Yeah, okay. So, Phil, would you do the honours for this one for us then? It's a bigger cup because there's more people in it.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Ronnie Allen.
Ronnie Allen. There you go, Ronnie Allen.
He's played for the Albans, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Ronnie Allen, there you go. So, a bag full of goodies will be winging its way back to you as soon as Mrs. Brown gets round to doing it, which is usually tomorrow or the day after. Yeah. No rushes for Chris. No rush. No rush for these things. You know, we just do it when we want. Do it when we want. Any more questions coming?
No, but are we going to mention Super 6 this week?
No.
And the person in 7th place is?
No.
No, we're not going to mention that.
Not going to mention it because I signed up. Well, I am going to mention it, right? Because I'm disappointed, right? Super 6 and Sky, if you're watching, listen to this. I signed up to have your emails sent to me, to my personal email address, to remind me to do Super 6. There was a Super 6 on midweek last week, and I didn't get an email, so I didn't do it, right? And I was in the top 10 last week.
Well,
and now I'm not. I'm 21, something like that now, because I missed a whole. And I've been doing all right. I've got over my injury I'd had the year before. So, there you go. Complaint of the week goes to Sky.
you don't like Sky, do you, Nick?
I think they've ruined the game, to be honest with you.
Do you like Sky, Phil?
I love it.
Yeah?
Love it, yeah.
Don't you think they've pumped too much money into football, though?
Probably right, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
you know, the Premier
but,
League.
you know, to watch games, and have as many games on the boxes that there is, I think it's fantastic.
But when we was kids, Phil, it was special. If there was an England game on or
Well,
something
yeah,
like that, it was a
yeah,
special
but
night.
you never
know.
got to see the players in those days.
We used to have a bag of crisps
Yeah.
between 9 of us.
You were lucky.
You think I'm joking and all, mate? Mother used to sit there with the rebels, suck the chocolate off, and if you didn't like the centre, you could have it. So poor we were, mate, let me tell you.
Can you quickly say hello to La Doll Room? I think she might be on the wrong show, looking at her photograph on Podbean. Can you see?
I think I can see it, yeah.
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 So, just hello, doll.
Wrong room, love.
Wrong room.
Wrong room. Try
Thank you anyway.
.com. So we go live on a Monday night on Facebook, and of course don't forget to mention our partners Switch FM 107.5 tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, and DAB all across the Birmingham area. You can get this show again with Phil Summerill. Absolute pleasure to have you here with us, and I can't believe where the time's flown to. It's nearly 8:45.
It's gone really quick, hasn't it?
That's gone absolutely mad.
Yeah.
Terry Zulu Dempsey, what was it like in 70s Birmingham? It was harsh. It was
70s
dank. It was dark. Across the road from the stadium was all these houses with broken windows and bombed out shells left over from the war. Do you
They'll still be
that?
on the main stand now, aren't they? I'm going to say.
No, not the main stand. The
Oh,
cop.
the cop.
Opposite
Okay.
the cop. You've got the bus.
Yeah.
What is that tyre place now? That used to be a bus depot. Correct, Phil?
Don't know.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
where the bus station was,
The
but
bus station was that. The
Yeah.
main bus station was up 3 parts of the way down
Yeah.
towards the ball ring.
Yeah.
But there was a bus depot right opposite St Andrews. Kingston Bingo Hall. Do you remember that one?
yeah,
Right next to where
Yeah.
the main stand is.
yeah.
The GM.
Yeah.
Kingston Bingo Hall used to be there on the corner, and all I can remember is we used to go into the cop, and coming out. There was one square where everybody come out at the back of the Tilton Cop corner, And you could literally lift your feet off the floor as a kid and just get carried through. You didn't have to walk. There was that many people. That many people.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then right at the top of the top of the cop was them toilets. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, you have never seen toilets unless you've been in there. They were a disgrace to the human race. The stench was just phenomenal.
So I'll try now, right? I just want to ask. I visualise now what it's like on a match day as a player in today's game. Obviously, you go there in your Bentley, you park up, you have a meal, obviously, as a group before the game. Was it like that back then? So did you sort of meet up before the game as a group and eat together before the game?
We usually met up. I think it was Freddie Goodwin bought the pre-match meal in at home.
Right.
Before that, you just travelled and got to the ground for 2 o'clock.
Right.
So an hour before kick-off?
Yeah.
And were you fined if you got any later?
Sorry?
Were you fined if you got there later?
I was never fined, so
Right,
I
okay.
couldn't say.
Right.
But
And when
we used to. Fred introduced a pre-match meal, and we used to go to the hotel in Solihull, and just have,
What hotel was that?
Can't think of the name now.
Memory.
St John's, yeah.
Was it St John's?
St John's, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Still there?
Yeah, still there, yeah.
Still there.
Yeah.
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 Oh.
Yeah, so you had to have a meal at the hotel,
Posh then.
Yeah.
and then you go to St Andrews from the hotel
Yeah.
as a group on a coach or something?
No, they used to drive in your own car.
So you drive individually, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you play the game.
And play the game. Pre-match meals in those days was chicken, eggs,
Yeah,
and they used to. Some used to have steak at one time
yeah.
at 12 o'clock before a 3 o'clock kickoff.
You used to have
Steak.
really?
Yeah.
Blimey, I don't think I saw one until I was in the army. Nigel says, "Hi Phil, great night at Strikers Night on Airtable." Nigel Sale.
Ah, lovely.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mark Adams is Mr. Fun gagged under the table. No, he's poorly tonight, so yeah, he's not so well tonight. So he's called in sick, shall we say? He's called in sick. We docked his wages. Too right. Too right. We've docked his wages. And no, I'd just like to reiterate that we actually don't get any wages. We don't get no wages at all. Yeah, from that one from Ray BCFC Orton. Sky has made a lot of football mercenaries. Ask Phil what it was like playing alongside Jimmy Greenough for one season and Fred Pickering up front from Kevin Skidmore.
Freddie Pickering.
Well, obviously that's a dream pair to play with, because I just get the leftovers from them two, and hopefully that's when I scored a lot of goals, just getting on the end of the hard work that those two players actually did. But they were good players, excellent players. It's hard to say how good they are, really, but to me, though, they were absolutely fantastic.
And Adam Wilkes says, crisps between 9 of you, but you sat in the bath in front of the fire too, Nick. Actually, you know what? Yes, I did. Okay. That's absolutely true. And tin bath in front of the fire.
Not in my day.
Them were the days. Oh. That's what
We had
what it was
running
like to be
water
poor,
in
mate.
those days.
That's what it was like to be poor and one of 9 kids, you know what I mean? Phil, what was your first car from Kev Sampson?
Our first car was a Ford Classic.
Oh, right, proper.
Yeah. I think it was £295 it cost me.
295 quid.
Yeah.
Crikey. Back in the day. Ray says, what do you think about Derby getting away with selling their ground for too much money? Well, have they got away with it? I don't know. I've not heard any news at all today. So, but if Ray says they've got away, I have absolutely no reason to doubt him. But if that's the case, well, that's the FL for you again, isn't it? You know, with their double standards. Adam Wilkes, did Phil remember the smelly flag before it was smelly? The smelly flag gets a mention every week. You know the big flag that goes round on occasion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It stinks to high heaven because it's.
I wouldn't know.
Somewhere,
So I'm sorry. No.
Mark Adams says, my dad told me stories of the early 60s of players legging it up the Digbeth, carrying boots and a fag.
Well,
Yeah.
There's There's that famous picture of the goalkeeper, isn't there, as well, having a fag against the post. And that was from the 60s.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah. All right, we could scroll to see any more.
I remember when I was a player, they used to have players used to when that's obviously an apprentice doing the dressing rooms, and you've got to be in there at half time, and players would actually light up at half time.
Right now.
In those days.
Wow. I'm just trying to imagine them doing it now. Imagine.
I'll try it.
Last 15 minutes. Oh, it's the last 8 minutes, 10, 12 minutes. 12 minutes now. We've got Phil Summerill in today, and as part of your name.
Can I just correct you? Summerill.
Summerill.
No H.
No H.
Ah, Summerill.
Summerill.
I went to Strikers evening and they made the same mistake.
Today. It's an easy one to make when you read something quick, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Edwards
because
used to do a cartoon piece in the Evening Dispatch, whether people remember that paper or not.
I don't personally.
And I played for Aston Boys and we were 2-0 down. We beat them 3-2 in English Schools Trophy, scored all 3 goals, and they did these cartoon features, and it said about Phil Summerill, he said a clear case of dropped H's, and I couldn't understand what he meant.
Right, yeah, got it. Yeah,
well, obviously I do now, because
so the first part of your name being summer, what we have is nice weather in the summer, so it's anything to do with weather and a footballer's surname for the last 10 or 12 minutes now. Please keep your questions coming into Phil, because this has been really interesting and eye-opening today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
Is Paul Robinson being trained to take over as manager of the first team, Ray Jones says? Well, we couldn't possibly answer that, could we?
We wouldn't know.
'Cause we don't know.
No. Did Stern John? Did he get the most votes for Joe?
I think
I think it was Stern John.
He got a few. I think Jerome got a few as well, though, and a few Johnsons in there.
We might have to look at that afterwards.
Yeah.
revisit
Pretty
it.
close one.
Yeah.
Is that something you will do?
Yeah.
We can do, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All righty. Okay, any more questions, Chris, please? That's all right, I can see them better on your screen than I am my phone, because I don't have to keep putting my glasses on and taking them off.
Did you give your all-time team that you played with any more for, Phil?
No.
Okay. Don't We've got 10 minutes now. No, don't worry if you can't do it. If it's too difficult, but... Phil's 1 to 11.
Mike Smith, I'll go back to that one, Chris, if I could. Yeah, there you go. Mike Smith says, my dad used to play football on Bordsley Common. Then he'd walk to the ground and then go back and play again and copy everything he'd watched. Brilliant. Proper days.
Yeah.
Proper days.
To make it quicker then, what if you picked a 5-a-side team?
I'll have a go. Can I come back and give you my team?
Of course you can. Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. We'll keep reading
then.
questions out, Chris, if we could, sir. Okay. Thank you very much indeed. Tony Gale. We've got Tony Gale. John Gale.
Yeah, John Gale.
John Gale.
Yeah. Bernard's son.
Yeah. Don't know where Joe Lolly comes from. I don't know what that's got to do with the weather, I don't know.
I'm not sure he came
Joe Brolly, maybe.
Joe Brolly, yeah, we'll take that one. I bet Mr. Fun's sitting at home now.
Can I have a little bit of a rant?
Close.
You
Yeah.
can, go on.
Yeah.
Little bit of
It's
a
a
rant.
it's a pre-birthday rant.
Bit of, I'd say, might introduce a new segment actually. Villain of the week. Birmingham Mail.
Yeah.
Over sensationalising things.
Absolutely. I wouldn't watch it, Chris.
I could not believe when I saw the headlines like a huge brawl on Facebook.
What was there, about 10 kids?
And I thought that's like a slap that your mum used to give you for being late.
Yeah.
And the way that it was oversensitive. I'm not condoning violence. No,
Not at all.
but
No, that's something we've never done on this show.
It's just a deliberate attempt to get more.
They do like to catastrophise things, don't they?
Clickbait.
It was like reading a Sun headline.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
they are better than that. Birmingham
Well,
Mail, come on.
Let's hope so. Birmingham Mail,
Please.
listen. Right, okay.
Okay.
So the only thing we can say is we did Piegate with Adam. Chris is going to stitch the video together because we had to do it in two
Yeah, it's a good
sections,
one, so it's
unfortunately.
worth
But as far as Adam is concerned, the pies were of a better standard, and I did see
Okay.
Dave out, and I did see Claire,
Okay.
and relayed that back to them.
Were they as good as Pucker?
No,
Okay.
no, nothing will beat
No.
the pucker pie.
Okay.
Pucker pie's a pucker pie. That's
But how much better were they?
It's for Adam to say so really rather than me because he
Okay.
was the consumer, I was the videographer.
Right, okay.
Videographer.
Yeah.
Let's get it right now.
Yeah.
Posh word.
Okay.
Any more for the weather? Dean Windass. Oh. Nicky Davis says I finally got Phil's surname right. I must apologise.
Nicky Davis.
Yeah, Nicky Davis says I finally got your
my
surname
daughter.
right.
Is it?
Is it?
Oh, right.
Hi, Nikki. Welcome to the Tilton Talk Show. Keep listening, girl. Keep listening. Pepe Rainier. I got. It's a shame it's not a manager. You could have had Claudia and Rainier.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
You got Dylan Windass. Sonji High. Only took 80 minutes, says Adam. Well, you know, we've had a guest in tonight, Adam. It's been interesting. It's been interesting. Any more, Mrs. Brown? Hot dog deal was excellent, says Kev Kelly. That was it a free hot dog for fast pay users?
Something like that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike Smith says it was terrible to be able to people to fight in the street, but for God's sake, look more like 10 Preston fans acting and 1 Blues fan getting angry, barely even a punch thrown.
It's just nothing. There was nothing.
Was there much violence when you played, Phil? In the stands?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was worse then,
Oh
wasn't it?
God, yeah.
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 He wasn't safe on the pitch.
You weren't.
No.
You weren't.
No.
Was there ever a game stopped, or
Oh,
was
crikey.
you able to? Yeah.
Phil, was you in the Millwall game at the Leighton Orient game?
No, I was in the stand.
Oh,
It was
right.
more frightening in the stand.
Yeah,
than
it was with the Millwall fans and stuff.
yeah,
like that, like,
yeah. But of course, I went and played for Millwall then, so
Yeah.
I seen it all.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
They used to go round like with the blue doctors, nurses with the hats
That's
on,
right. Yeah.
and they used to call themselves the treatment.
Yeah.
And these were Millwall's fans, and they used to batter everybody.
Yeah. Proper back in the day, wasn't it? Yeah, Alan Ains Snow, as in Alan Ains Co. Ivan Sunich, Mikhail Force Gale. Like that one. Reduced priced hot dog. It was not a free one, a reduced priced hot dog. So thanks for that, Craig. And Mandy Irvin, what have we got here? Dean Windass again. Yeah, any more?
David Sleet. You seen that one?
Kenny Low Pressure, I haven't seen that one, no. 10% or 20% off the burger hot dogs. I think everybody must have been drunk because nobody could remember. Legendary Luton manager David Sleet, yeah, got that one.
There we go.
Got that one. And that's where we are, we're up to date.
Yeah.
So what do you do with life nowadays then, Phil?
Nothing.
Retired?
I was fortunate I retired when I was 56.
Right.
So that's like 15 years ago. So yeah, it's been great. Played, I was a member at Kings Norton Golf Club for 35 years, member of Cop T for a couple of years, and now just able to wander across the road to Whitby Manor and play a few times there a week.
Super.
So it's great.
Excellent.
So you're still actually playing football?
No, golf.
Golf.
I thought you said.
Golf.
No,
Yeah, sorry.
no. Knees. I had the knees replaced 15 years ago. My ankles have gone now, so there's not much chance of me playing football anymore.
When did you last play football?
I've no idea. So long ago.
Yeah.
It's so long ago.
When you played your last game for Blues, did you know that the writing was on the wall for you there? At that game?
Probably before that.
Yeah.
I got left out of the tour to America, so I knew the writing was on the wall.
Right, okay.
And so what? Probably the worst decision I ever made going to Huddersfield, because I know it was a deal done between Freddie Goodwin and the Huddersfield manager, which was his big mate at the time. I can't think of his name at the moment. And the deal was done. And I know it was done because then Birmingham signed Dennis Clark from Huddersfield, his right back, I think.
Yeah.
Part of the deal.
Part of the deal. No, it was after I'd gone, so I
Okay.
knew.
How much did you go for?
I think it's 50,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot then, though, isn't it?
It was a fair amount.
I was
Then,
gonna
yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Skidmore says, thank you, Phil, for making my very fond memories of the Blues as a young fan, with himself, Trevor Hockey, Malcolm Beard, Fred Pickering, Johnny Vincent, etc. Great days. Well said, Kevin. Thank you very much for that.
That was another thing about Freddie Goodwin. If your face didn't fit, you were out. Johnny Vincent was a great player, and he never got a look in. He was probably would have gone on to play for England, and he was so talented. And Freddie Goodwin come, and he never played him.
Really?
And he went off to Cardiff.
We've got a few more coming in. Mick Greaves says Matthew Upson. I like that one. Ray says Phil Summerill. David Hale. Nigel Winterburn. Tony Showers. Nicky Summerby, Martin Granger, like that one. Hurricane.
Yeah, Hurricane. Yeah, like that.
Neil, you've got it so far, mate. If nothing else comes in, then you've got that one, mate. That's Alan Minnitt got it first, actually.
I think you did, yeah.
Yes, I know. Beg your pardon. It's Alan Minnitt. Alan Minnitt's in the lead. Dwight Hale, Stan Lashing Reid, Torben Picnic. I don't know why you want to put that. Snow Gallagher.
That's not bad.
Joe Gallagher.
Paul Furlong.
Furlong, yeah. Oh, dear. Kev Sampson says, did you get a cutout of the fee? Your salon fee, did you get a cutout of it? Did
No.
they? No.
No.
So that didn't happen back then. So there was no player power until
No.
such time as
No,
him with the big.
there-
the big
there was
shit.
no-
What was his name?
Players used to talk about a brown paper bag, but I never got one.
Right. Jimmy Hill, that was him from Coventry, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He bought all this
Yeah.
malarkey that's going
Yeah.
on nowadays. Yeah. So you got no cut out the fee whatsoever.
No.
Did you? Was it an increase in wages or a decrease in wages?
Oh, it's increasing wages,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Was it a step up a division? Did you go from Division 2 to Division 1?
No, I went the other way. Division 1
To Division 2. Right.
Yeah.
Couple's coming to that, yeah. When the sun's out, it's hotter, from Adam Wilkes. And do you remember we played with case balls?
We always used to call them
Case
Yeah.
balls.
Case balls, yeah.
Case
Yeah,
balls,
yeah.
Oh,
They were rock hard.
right.
Real
You
rocker.
didn't want to get hit with them.
Yeah.
You didn't want to hit them.
Predictions for Saturday?
Right, here we go. Saturday, Derby County away. I'm refusing to go because I will not pay £33 for a ticket. So there, end of. It's far too much money for me in the Championship. I don't care. Even if I had the 33 quid and even if I was half a millionaire, which I'm not, ladies and gentlemen, I still wouldn't pay £33 to go and watch a game of football. Dirty, stinking Derby County.
Before predictions, I think I found another contender for the best one.
Go on.
Freeze your Paul, Dick off.
I like that.
Yeah, that's it. Right up there, isn't it? Howard Gale. 1-0 from Craig Courtney Duke to score. 3-0 Derby from Ray Orton. 1-0 lost Mike Smith and Ray Hobro. Derby 4, Blues 1. Dave Twine's going for a big 4-4 and 8-goaler. Kevin Sampson 2-1 to the Blues. That's about as far as we've got at the moment.
What are we thinking here?
I think we might turn them over.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we might go 1-0. Cheeky 1-0.
Okay.
Good time to play, Derby.
Yeah.
They're not doing so well, are they?
Good time to play.
Mind you, they'll be on a bit of a high after equalising in the last minute up at Leeds.
Yeah.
But, you know, overall they're not doing too well, so they are beatable.
Yeah.
They're certainly not the team they were last season without Mason Mount and Harry Wilson.
Graham Skilton's going 4-3 to Blues. Sunwich, there's a couple of big scorers in there. Steve Portman's going an absolute flat 0-0. Nobody to score. And Mike Smith actually 2-0 loss. They'll seal it late on as we push on. Brett Stanley's going 1-1. Kev Kelly Derby 2, Birmingham 2. Graham Hines 1-1. And Adam Wilkes 2-2. 2-1 Blues from Mark Adams. And Paul Lilly 1-1. Roberts to score.
What do you reckon, Phil? What's your
He's
prediction?
netted yet this year, has he?
2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
Okay.
Okay. Mrs. Brown?
I'm going to go for 2-1. Blues.
2-1 to the Blues.
I'll go 1-1.
Okay, so it's Chris Brown 2-1, me 1-0, Paul
1-1.
1-1, and Phil
2-2.
2-2.
A Desmond.
That was a place to go to, the old baseball ground, wasn't it? That was a
Oh,
proper
it was
old.
awful. It was awful.
It was worse as supporters having to walk down that tin alley with all the kids chucking bricks over the. It was like a tin fence.
Was it? Yeah.
Everybody did that. Just a hail of bricks and bits and pieces coming over it.
I played on some muddy pitches. That was the worst pitch I've ever played on.
Really?
Really. It was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
What was the best stadium you ever played at? Hopefully St Andrews. but
Great
other than
story.
St Andrews.
Old Trafford. Replay the cup. I think Dave Robinson scored a penalty at St Andrews, and we went and had the replay at Old Trafford, and we were winning 1-0, and they got a really dodgy penalty. And it was a dodgy penalty. In the end, we got beat 6-3, but I managed to score a left-footed half volley right in the top corner past Alex Stepney.
Good
and I
God,
think
that's
there
a
was
massive like
63,000 in the ground.
that. Incredible.
Wow. Who was playing for them then? Like Charlton and Best. And
And all the big ones, yeah.
Yeah,
All, yeah.
yeah.
Well, what a shame we've got to wrap up, Phil. This has been an absolutely enlightenment. You're very welcome to come again anytime you like. The door's always open unless it's closed, which it never usually is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll get his name right and I'll get it right now. Phil Summerill, thank you so very much for being
It's been a
part
pleasure.
of the Tilton Talk.
Thank you
And
very
Look
much.
forward
thank
to
you
coming again.
to all those wonderful people out there that you've given so much memories for, and you know they hold them dear, and you know we take our blues memories. People like us exist. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Phil, thanks. No, genuinely mean that. Really nice of you to give your time up on that one thing or another. There's no brown paper bags here, I'm afraid. So boom. That's that. This has been the Tilton Talk Show. It's been a Monday night. Derby next. I'll be listening on the radio or in the pub. £33.
You spend that in the pub though. Probably spend that in the pub.
In the first hour. Ladies and gents, Phil Summerill, thank you very, very much indeed.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you. From myself, good night. From Mr. Sheen.
Good night.
And from Mrs. Brown. And from Phil himself.
Good night.
And keep right on.
Support